Ooh, we've got some interesting things inside of the data mine. We've got Elsa Bloodstone. We've got Stryfe. We're going to talk about Beast, who's right here on the loading screen. We're going to talk about Hela and maybe other Asgardians coming to the game. We're going to talk about the best AIM team, and we're also going to talk about Fantastic Four. Say what's up, Casino. How are you doing today?
What's going on? Doing pretty good.
So inside of Marvel Contest of Champions, they're coming out with Elsa Bloodstone, and you were able to discover some fun things inside of the data mine. What'd you find?
Yeah, so I got to give credit to another alliance actually found the very first trace of a couple characters in the data mine, Elsa Bloodstone and Stryfe. So shout out to Magic Wand in particular for this one. Looked into it and found not only do they reference base keys for those two characters, but they either have some temporary placeholder animations or some shared animations with other characters, just like little parts of animations. But it looks like Stryfe shares an animation with Thanos and an animation with Yondu. It looks like Elsa Bloodstone shares an animation with Deadpool and one with Invisible Woman.
Okay, so Elsa Bloodstone makes a lot of sense to me. The rumor on the street is that there's going to be some sort of Halloween event. She definitely fits into the Halloween theme. Now, Stryfe is not a character I'm familiar with, but apparently he's a clone of Cable, or he's Cable's brother. Is that correct?
He's a clone of Cable raised by Apocalypse, and he's a villain.
Okay, so that could be very interesting because I know you and I have always been big fans of the Cable kit. We always thought that he could be useful somewhere in the arena. Messing with turn meter is always a good thing, but just never was quite there. That might be interesting, right?
Yeah, if he's anything like Cable, I like Cable. I think Cable just needs a tiny little tune-up. But yeah, I'm excited for this. And I mainly know Marvel movies and video games, so I'm not very familiar with Stryfe, but he looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him myself. So, and I'm hoping we get a bunch of characters that are kind of in that Halloween Elsa Bloodstone theme. We will see. Now, I just want to switch gears here a little bit. There's a lot of things on the loading screen. A lot of questions have been coming up about Hela. We've talked about Greg, who's the summon of Hela. And then we've got Loki. Cerebro mentioned with you in the interview that there was going to be a Thor rework, but he said it was going to happen when it makes sense. Do you think that's going to happen when Hela comes to the game?
Yeah, I think it's pretty likely. So we don't completely misquote Cerebro, he suggested if Thor were going to get a rework, it would make sense to do it perhaps when more Asgardian characters came to the game, was how he phrased it. But so yeah, it sounds like to me, if you're gonna bring at least one more Asgardian, if not more, that's the time to bring Thor up and really make him shine.
If I were to guess, I would think that they're gonna bring out two more Asgardians at the same time to make a complete team. Do you think that's there's a high probability of that happening? What do you think?
I do. I've been hearing some rumors. I think we're getting a full Asgardian team.
Yeah, that would make sense to me as well. Let's talk about Beast showing up right here, and Cyclops. Boy, Cyclops in the data mine has been there, and the kit has changed a couple times. Looks very good. Do you think they're going to come out with that anytime soon? Or, I mean, it seems like Phoenix is on top of the world. I'm not sure why they would want to bring more characters right now. The timing seems a little bit strange. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know that they worry too much about where everything's at in the meta. And maybe they do, but they're just very, very popular characters. Cyclops and Beast are definitely two of the most popular X-Men. But from what I can gather, and again, you never know with this kind of stuff. I can be dead wrong, but from my approximation of what I'm seeing going on, I think that both Beast and Cyclops are kind of on the back burner. I think you're right that we're going to get some more Halloween stuff for October. So I would think November maybe would be the earliest we'd see them. But again, that's just based on kind of gut instinct, nothing that we've officially heard. But Beast would kind of round out the team for Raid. The one who is just a free massive upgrade to the team that seems kind of unwarranted is Cyclops.
Wouldn't it be terrible if they made Phoenix X-Men the best Raid team and you had to spin the refreshes every time on Phoenix and they just kind of forced you to do that? I mean, I could see them doing that, right? Beast makes it viable, but then, Phoenix dies and you have to spin the refreshes every node. Very Fox next, right? Let's talk about AIM and the best Raid team. We've been getting tons of questions inside of your chat, my chat when I was streaming yesterday about the best AIM team. And initially, I was sold on 3 characters, like no brainer. Security, Scientist Supreme, Gravitron, and I think we both have kind of fallen in love with Researcher. Talk about AIM Monstrosity. I'm not sold on AIM Monstrosity myself. What are you thinking?
I really like AIM Monstrosity for a couple reasons. I mean, AIM Monstrosity does that offense up, and that offense up is really well taken advantage of by Graviton. I mean, he does an amazing amount of damage, and also just having the offense up gives Monstrosity that extra focus to always put that defense down. So like what the AIM team is really lacking is their damage. Yes. And so the couple of people that you can replace Monstrosity with, the damage isn't really there. Infector has some good utility, but not great damage. Assaulter does give some speed, but is actually like really light on the damage. Monstrosity is giving at least 3 people offense up, and then anyone he hits, he's giving defense down. So it really helps out their damage. I've been really happy with Monstrosity. And then you have the option. So Monstrosity spawns with defense down. If you want to, you can use the Scientist Supreme flip on her opening turn, and you can have defense up on him, and he's pretty tanky right out the gate. So
yeah, I have to try out the Monstrosity. I know I'm really sold on Graviton. The other thing that people are asking me quite a bit, and I'm sure you've been getting this question also, is there another team that you think that Graviton is going to be used in?
He works really well with anyone that does debuffs. So he's excellent on the AIM team, of course, especially like giving them all the passive boost. So I like him with AIM, but he's excellent on the Brotherhood in place of Mystique. He's excellent on Spider-Verse in place of Green Goblin. He just, he does so much extra damage when people have a bunch of debuffs. He's great on the Mystic team, which is like the Mordo, Scarlet Witch, Loki, Doctor Strange. And then, just extending all those debuffs and landing the stun, which can turn into a 2-turn stun.
So I think the question is there is there an AIM team without him that is viable in 8.3, and can you place him on another team that wouldn't work in 8.3? Let's say some sort of Spider-Verse or something, right? Where you can actually have 2 8.3 teams, because right now AIM is working. With him inside of 8.3, like you said, if you pick out the right matchup, you can definitely make it work.
Yes. So I like, if you really are really selective about the matchup, I do think there is an AIM team without Graviton that can work, but he makes it much, much easier, especially, I don't know what kind of punch-ups you're getting, but in 8.3, I'm getting like 160,000 power punch-ups. You really need to bring your A game.
I took this AIM team into U6, the final node, with Ultimus, and I was able to kill Ultimus. Now, I could have went through the whole thing if I had 10 minutes. It timed out, but that's how good the sustain. I mean, it's a great team, right?
Yeah, their sustain is incredible. And so just to kind of follow up on that Blitz question you asked, I wouldn't pull Graviton off and put him with Spider-Verse. Right. If you're having trouble with Spider-Verse, I think the best thing to do is merge your Spider-Verse with the Mystic team, so that you have like the Carnage Venom debuffs with, Scarlet Witch, Mordo, Loki, and then that team will do well in 8.3.
All right, let's talk about Fantastic Four. Now, Namor is such a strange character, and a lot of people don't have Namor. Very good on offense in war, but not that great outside of war. I noticed you have been taking Namor out and using Drax. And talk a little bit about that and how well that's been working for you.
It's been working way, way, way better. So, I mean, the Namor does okay. Like in certain matchups where they were going to be okay anyway, Namor just kind of gets carried along because he gets the benefit of like the assists and the barrier and, the extra stats and all that stuff. But yeah, he just doesn't really pull his weight. Whereas the Fantastic Four weakness is taking too much damage before Invisible Woman's first turn. She's like 105 speed, I think. Right. So Drax shores up their one glaring weakness, which is that someone can get killed before Invisible Woman is able to go. So you put Drax on there, and then you can put like Thanos on your Guardians instead, and they'll be fine.
Well, see things that are happening right here, even on this matchup right here. Like Namor is kind of weak. If Drax would have took all of that initial damage before she actually went, that would have been better. This is going to be fine. I don't know if I'll win against Ultron, but we're going to have fun, right?
Oh, definitely. It'll depend on if you get to that Johnny Storm turn 3. You might be all right.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny Storm turn 3 is actually great against Ultron, but we're gonna have some problems right here. Oh, I actually tanked it. Okay, well this might actually go down. I don't know if I'm gonna win this or not, but it was the best matchup that I had of the 3. We're down 1, so they're very good. And do you think I would have won this easier if I had Drax, or do you think it would have went down the same?
I actually didn't see the entire matchup from the start. Looking at the enemies, I think you'd have been okay. You definitely have been better off with Drax. There's no question about that. But I try to stay away from Ultron whenever possible.
Well, I was getting bold right here to possibly get a fun win. Okay. Well, so that's a lot of really cool stuff coming out right now for Halloween, and I'm pretty excited about that. Elsa Bloodstone seems like going to be a fun one coming to other games. So guess what time it is?
Oh, is it giveaway time?
It's time for the giveaway. I really hope you liked this video today, because if you did, you are in luck. For every single person that likes this video, you'll be getting for free in your account an 8-star John Travolta Graviton Battlefield Earth. Did you see this movie? This is not a scam. Doesn't he look like Graviton?
I did not. I didn't know Graviton made an appearance in Battlefield Earth, but
yes,
apparently he
did. I don't know who said that. I think it was in Tony's stream, and I was like, oh my God, you just ruined him forever. I'm going to call him John Travolta from now on. Graviton. It's easier to say John Travolta than Graviton, right? Or Galvatron or Gravitron. I'm never going to get that right forever, so I might as well just call him John Travolta.
Yeah, Travolton.
Travolton. There you go. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and keep on gaming.